Newcastle United versus Liverpool prediction. This could be one of the games of the season. It could be so dramatic. I think it's going to be end-to-end anyway, despite the Isak saga. But you do feel this could have a shocking result, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. Let's be completely real. Newcastle are really struggling in the number 9 department. They lost Callum Wilson. Isak won't be available. And you do feel, actually, that Alexander Isak has put a lot of pressure on Newcastle United to sell. The statement that came out this week was very dramatic, very, very intense. And Eddie Howe's come out and said it's a lose-lose situation for Newcastle United. It feels like it absolutely is. They're losing one of the best players in world football against a side as good as Liverpool. It's going to make them worse. And it made them worse against Aston Villa in a goalless draw at the start of the Premier League season last week. Light rumours that they're linked to Larsson from Wolves. I don't know if that suggests that Liverpool could get Isak by the end of the window, or Isak still stays and Larsson plays alongside him, which I feel would work, actually, in my honest opinion. He's a bit like a Sesko kind of profile striker. But you've got to feel for Eddie Howe, who signed Isak, put a lot of trust in Isak, certainly developed Isak from where he was at Real Sociedad into one of the best strikers in world football. He wasn't that at Real Sociedad, let's be completely real. He wasn't winning League Cups against Liverpool at Wembley with Real Sociedad. So ultimately, Eddie Howe sat there, one of the nicest guys in Premier League football, one of the smartest, astute managers in Premier League football, and he's having to deal with a massive game against a great Liverpool side without a number 9. It feels a bit dramatic. It feels a little bit ridiculous, actually. How are Newcastle paying this guy's wages and he's not able to play against a side as good as Liverpool? It is concerning for the state of football and player power, in my honest opinion. And that's not me criticising Liverpool, by the way. I feel they're completely absolved of any problem here. They've not done anything untoward. They haven't tapped this guy up or done anything. I mean, they just put a bid in. It's not been accepted. And now he's kicking up a fuss, even though he signed a massive contract with Newcastle United, where he's choosing, weirdly enough, he's choosing to take the wages still. He has, and he will do for the next 3 years. If he broke his leg tomorrow, he'd be taking those wages. These are the facts. You do wonder if Liverpool are going to put massive, massive pressure on Newcastle, wait until the last minute of the window, put in a cheeky bit of 115, 120, 122, way under the 150 that I feel could get this deal done. And that would be very, very cheeky and risky of it not happening. You do feel Liverpool needs someone like Isak. They don't need a player expensive as Isak. They need someone of his quality, of his caliber. I'm sure you get someone a lot cheaper with less pedigree. But I feel if anything happened to Ekitike, they're in a world of pain, Liverpool. I really do. They're thin. They've sold everyone. Of course, the tragedy of Jota as well. They're very, very thin going into 10 days left of the transfer window. Do you agree with me or not? Let me know in the comments down below. The 3-3 last season was end-to-end. It was brilliant football. And you feel that Liverpool defensively now, without a right-back potentially going into this game, they could be even more vulnerable to Newcastle United. Newcastle started against Aston Villa with Connor Gordon right down the middle. Anthony Gordon right down the middle. And obviously, in that situation, you've got no striker. You play your best player down the middle. So at points, Man City did that with Ilkay Gundogan or someone like Phil Foden. Technically, it's very hard to play as a false 9. But I feel like in this game, you could bring in someone like Ramsey, who's a fantastic signing from Aston Villa, pack the midfield and play Gordon on the left, maybe Ramsey as a kind of false 9 or Joelinton as a false 9, and have Alanga on the right wing. And that would be a lot more effective for Newcastle United against the right-back concern for Liverpool. No Frimpong, potentially no Gomez or Bradley as well. We could see Endo right-back, who I think is a very smart footballer. He's not going to get drawn into any big challenges or any stupidity. I think he's a solid footballer, Endo, but getting burned one-on-one against someone like Gordon, that's why I feel like you have to maybe take Barnes out of the side if you're Newcastle United and have Gordon on the left, because he's so effective on the left, cutting in on his right foot. It's going to be very interesting how that happens. I'm even seeing rumours that Dominic Szoboszlai could play at right back as well. Maybe a bit more leggy. Maybe there's a bit more legs there for Arne Slot, but I think Endo for me would be the pick if everyone's injured. But obviously if Conor Bradley can play, then you put in Conor Bradley. Gravenberch returns. Obviously he didn't play in the game against Bournemouth. You feel that Liverpool lacked a little bit of control. McAllister complements Gravenberch and it goes back and forth. Without Gravenberch, as Liverpool side, lose tempo, they lose rhythm, and I feel like it affected Liverpool. At points, Liverpool went a little bit end-to-end, a little bit M for M with Bournemouth. Where's that control, particularly away from home? I think Gravenberch will bring it. It'll be a massive, massive addition. Then it'll be interesting to see what the midfield looks like. With Gravenberch and McAllister definitely going to start together. Is it Wirtz ahead of him? Do you drop Wirtz and pack the midfield and put someone like Curtis Jones for legs, for energy? People are slagging off Wirtz. I'm winding people up on Twitter saying that Cherki's 1/4 of the price and better than Wirtz. It's a little bit ridiculous saying that because Wirtz is a fantastic footballer. And actually, you look at the chances he had against Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. He had a big chance against Bournemouth as well, where he kind of scuffed a shot, I think it was. One of them went into row Z. So he's getting into these pockets of space. And if he can find his shooting boots, he'll be knocking up big, big goals this season. He's finding the right space. Not like he's getting completely crowded out and completely, he's not finding any space. He is finding little pockets of space where he can get a shot off. He's more than good enough to get a goal against Newcastle United. It's about his form, about his confidence. He's just settling in. There would be a few concerns about the physicality. I mean, if he's running towards the Liverpool goal and Jolinton's tracking back, someone like Ramsey, Bruno's tracking back, he got a little bit bullied by a Bournemouth midfield, and Newcastle's midfield is 10 times better than Bournemouth. That would be the slight concern, and maybe we see him get dropped for this game, potentially. Ekitike is the one that I'm a massive, massive fan of. Anything in the box, I feel like he's going to score. He might miss a couple of chances as well, but I feel like he's always just going to nick a goal, basically, every big game. He's just that kind of footballer. I think it's sticky to him, and I feel like he will nick a goal. Same with Salah as well. Obviously had a big involvement in this fixture this time last season, basically. Newcastle United, they've got a lot to play for. They've got to get their first win. They're at home against Liverpool. They'll be confident. I really do feel that they'll be confident. The midfield goes toe-to-toe with Liverpool in terms of quality. Tonali, Bruno. Bring in Jacob Ramsey for the legs, for the intensity. Stifle Liverpool and try and get up the pitch and have little counter-attacking moments where you can play balls in behind the Liverpool right back. Even Virgil van Dijk in this game last season got completely exposed, and Gordon scored a brilliant goal. So I think Gordon could terrorise Van Dijk, let alone Endo at right back, let alone Szoboszlai at right back. You do wonder, could Arne Slot go 5 at the back in this game? I know it'd be crazy, but could you bring in an extra midfielder and put him at centre back and maybe just have Konate, Van Dijk protected? That would be an idea potentially as well, with Kerkez, who at points looks a little bit isolated in the game against Bournemouth as well. I think Liverpool have to be very, very careful because Arsenal have got a solid set of fixtures coming up. Man City look fantastic. Tough game against Tottenham. I talked about it on this channel yesterday. I think Liverpool could be a little bit pragmatic. I think they benefit from being that way. Even just 0-0 until the 75th minute, it's not as entertaining as we'd like it to be. But I do feel that if they go toe-to-toe with Newcastle, they could get absolutely roasted here. And don't forget, it's like a cup final for Newcastle United. These players will be told by Eddie Howe in the changing room, you're playing for the shirt, and now you're playing for your own reputation. You're playing to prove a player that wants to get out of here, leave you lot in the dust, join Liverpool, decide that we're playing tonight. Prove yourselves. Prove that you're as good as Isak in terms of quality, that you're not some joke footballer. Why does he want to move away from you? Why? That's what I'd be saying. I'm not a motivational speaker by any stretch of the imagination, but it feels like a very intense game. If Liverpool rock up like they did against Bournemouth, they're going to lose to Newcastle. These are the facts. I feel that Arne Slot will tweak it just enough that Liverpool pick up a draw. I'm going for a draw in this game, 3-3 like last season. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're brand new, make sure you like the video. I'll see you very, very soon.